What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College men's basketball. Michigan State Spartans versus Michigan Wolverines. Michigan State is a 17.4% chance to win, and Michigan is an 82.6% chance to win. This is at Michigan. So Michigan State is an 8 in nation, 25-5 record, and Michigan's 3 in nation, 28-2 record. So yeah, this could be a good game despite the spread. Yeah. So for stats, Michigan has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats, they're pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Michigan will beat Michigan State tomorrow. Iowa Hawkeyes versus Nebraska Cornhuskers. Iowa is a 26.8% chance to win. Nebraska is a 73.2% chance to win. This is at Nebraska. Iowa is unranked, 20-10 record. And Nebraska is 9 nation, 25-5 record. For stats, Nebraska is more points per game, points against. Iowa is a higher field goal percentage. Nebraska is more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Nebraska will beat Iowa tomorrow. College women's basketball. Louisville Cardinals versus Duke Blue Devils. So this is the ACC tournament championship. Um, Louisville is 12 in nation, 27-6 record. Duke is 13 in nation, 23-8 record. So this game is in Duluth, Georgia. So not really home field advantage for either side. So for stats, Louisville has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game. Assists per game is even. Duke has more blocks per game, and Louisville has more steals per game. So there's not really a big difference between stats. I mean, so Louisville has more wins and less losses, higher ranked, and between points per game and points against, there's a bigger gap in points per game than there is points against, even though they're both close. And for most stats, Louisville is higher. Like basically blocks is the only one that Duke's higher at. So with all that information, I think Louisville will beat Duke tomorrow. West Virginia Mountaineers versus TCU Horned Frogs. This is the Big 12 tournament championship. This so West Virginia is a 15 nation, 26-6 record. TCU's 10 nation, 29-4 record. For stats, TCU has more points per game. West Virginia has more points against. TCU is a higher field goal percentage, and there's more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and West Virginia has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close. Now, this is in Kansas City, Missouri, so it's not necessarily, home field advantage for either team. Now, it is closer to Texas, so, probably more TCU fans there than West Virginia fans. So, that might help. But I think the big thing is, so TCU has more wins, less losses, higher ranking, and, more points per game, less points against. So, the stats are most of the stats are in favor of TCU. So with that, I think TCU will beat West Virginia tomorrow. Iowa Hawkeyes versus UCLA Bruins. This is the Big Ten tournament championship. Yeah, so Iowa is 9 in the nation, 26-5 record. UCLA is a 2 nation, 31 record. This game's is in Indianapolis, Indiana. So yeah, good bits away for both teams. For stats, UCLA has more points per game. Iowa's more points against. UCLA's a higher field goal percentage, is more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close. So so all these stats, they're obviously in advantage of UCLA. So that's going to be a big thing. Home field advantage is not a big deal here. These stats are close, so I think it could be a good game. But I think UCLA will beat Iowa tomorrow. Texas Longhorns versus South Carolina Gamecocks. This is the SEC Tournament Championship. So Texas is 4 in the nation, 30-3 record. South Carolina is 3 in the nation, 31-2 record. For stats, South Carolina has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and Texas has more steals per game. Since this is part of the SEC tournament in Greenville, South Carolina, so there's an obvious home field advantage for for South Carolina. Yeah, this is one of the is just the next stage of mini Vic Schaefer versus Don Staley matchups because they went against each other a lot at Mississippi State, where basically they were the top two teams in the conference for a while. Kind of like back, when you had Georgia, Tennessee basically running the conference for basically decades. Now, obviously, and Schaefer carried on that success to Texas. So yeah, it's just the next chapter in that. I mean, honestly, Staley's been the one who's had the most success in that run. So yeah, this could be a good game, but with it being basically in South Carolina and basically it's gonna be significant home field advantage for them. I think South Carolina will beat Texas tomorrow. NBA. Boston Celtics versus Cleveland Cavaliers. The Celtics have a 42.8% chance to win. The Cavs have a 57.2% chance to win. This is at Cleveland. For injuries, for the Celtics, uh, Vucevic is out. For the Cavs, Proctor, Allen, and Mitchell are out, and Tyson and Wade are game time decisions. For stats, the Cavs have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Celtics have more rebounds per game. Cavs have more assists per game. Celtics have more blocks per game, and Cavs have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Cavaliers will beat the Celtics tomorrow. New York Knicks versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Knicks have a 62.7% chance to win, and the Lakers have a 37.3% chance to win. This is at LA. For injuries, for the Knicks, McBride's out, and for the Lakers, Kleber, Ayton, and James are game time decisions. For stats, the Knicks have more points per game. Lakers have more points against, higher field goal percentage. Knicks have more rebounds per game, assists per game. Lakers have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Lakers will beat the Knicks tomorrow. Detroit Pistons versus Miami Heat. The Pistons have a 58.2% chance to win. The Heat have a 41.8% chance to win. This is at Miami. For injuries, for the Pistons, Sasser is day to day, and Thompson and Cunningham are out. For the Heat, Wiggins is a game time decision. Jovic, Powell, and Fontecchio are out, and Rozier's out for non-injury reason. For stats, the Heat have more points per game, points against. Pistons have a higher field goal percentage. Heat have more rebounds per game, assists per game. Pistons have more blocks per game and steals per game. these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Heat will beat the Pistons tomorrow. Houston Rockets versus San Antonio Spurs. The Rockets have a 38.4% chance to win, and the Spurs have a 61.6% chance to win. This is at San Antonio. For injuries, for the Rockets, Tate and Van Vliet are out, and Adams is out for the year. For the Spurs, Plumlee's out for a non-injury reason. Uh, Barnes, Ingram, and Jones Garcia are out, with Garcia being out for the year. For stats, the Spurs have more points per game, points against, field goal percentage is even. Rockets have more rebounds per game. Spurs have more assists per game. Rockets have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Spurs will beat the Rockets tomorrow. Charlotte Hornets versus Phoenix Suns. The Hornets have a 60.1% chance to win. The Suns have a 39.9% chance to win. This is at Phoenix. For injuries, for the Hornets, Salon is out. And for the Suns, Goodwin, Williams, and Brooks are out. For stats, the Hornets have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and the Suns have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close. I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here, so I think the Suns will beat the Hornets tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.